Good evening, good evening, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Real Talk Sports Show. I'm your host, Mr. Jonathan Simmons, and we are excited for each and every one of you who have decided to join us here on the broadcast. Thank you so much for doing so. Remember, you can follow us anywhere around on social media at Real Talk Sports 7. You can also follow me personally at Minister J Sim. So, again, we appreciate you who are not only watching live on YouTube, on Periscope, on Facebook, on Twitch, and on Roku stations, both Phoenix Entertainment Group and the C Room Sports Entertainment Network. And we just thank God for those of you watching on the replay as well. Well, anytime we do this show, I have to bring on one of the most beautiful women in radio, sports talk, and for TV sports talk, the one and only queen herself, Tree Dolman, is in the building. Da-da-da.
Hi, Jonathan.
Da-da-da-da. And of course, also have to bring in the champion himself and all around just good guy, Mr. Tyrone Poole, is in the building. Sir, welcome back.
And here's the Real Sports Talk Show coming at you live.
Let's get shades back on.
There you go. Let's go behind curtain number one.
We have something. I don't know. I'll give you guys something. How about some Scotch tape? We'll give you that. So sometimes you guys got to put things together. So there you go right there. Well, we got it all. So another happy day in the neighborhood. Let's go around the board really quickly to see what everyone did. Now, I don't know why I do this, but I'm going to go with Tyrone Poole. I think I already know what he did over the weekend, but go ahead, bro.
No. We gonna backtrack this time. We're going to start with you. We're going to start with you.
With me. Oh, okay.
You lead it off. What did you do?
What did I do? Well, it's funny you should mention it. So it was, we'll talk about this later. It was a big weekend for high school football.
Okay.
This was the kickoff for the Corky Kell Classic.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the best teams in the state were out. And it was the first time ever that the Corky Kell Classic invited a team from out of state. It was a team that's very well known across the country. 6 times in the last 10 years, they have won their state's championship for football. The Hoover Bucks were in the building, and they had a marquee matchup against North Gwinnett. And man, it was must-see TV. It was just you had some great teams. You had some top players from let's see around. You had Collins Hill, who has a wide receiver who's I think ranked number 1 overall in the country for high school recruits. The quarterback from Hoover is one of the top 200, I think, for ESPN. So you had big-time players, big-time programs everywhere. 11 games in just 3 days. So definitely a lot of football to be played. I will admit that the minister was feeling kind of tired come Sunday morning. But like I said, it was a good tired, so no complaints at all. None at all. And bottom line, I'm alive and well. Now, you up next. Ha-ha.
Yeah, you were putting in work. I don't know if I did everything that you did. I'm pretty sure you probably got a big jug of electrolytes somewhere you still sipping on trying to recover. But actually, my daughter went back to college Friday. So, just trying to get her straightened. And then when she left, I'm trying to straighten up everything in the house because she has a dog. And it's a French bulldog. So I'm still cleaning up the aftermath. So that's what I spent my weekend doing, cleaning up after the dog. And my daughter went back to college. So, that's what I was doing.
Well, sounds you put some work in, sir. Now, are you going to miss your daughter not being around, or you?
Oh,
you all right?
Yeah, can't you tell? Did you hear how sad he was when he said she went back to college?
Come on, Tree, talk to him. I'm like,
yeah, you can tell he's hurting over there.
Man, that's my little helper. I'm over here now. I'm like, when they truly say, man, if you leave a man home by himself, he gonna mess up everything. So I'm here by myself now. So hopefully I don't mess up everything.
I hope not either, brother. Try to keep it intact a little bit until they get back home and don't see the place totally tore down. I gotta admit, I'm like that. My daughter be like flipping out when she come home. She said, Dad, can't you just put things away? But that's a whole nother story. All right, let's go to Tree. What'd you do over the weekend, ma'am?
Well, you actually may be a little surprised, but I actually went to the Atlanta Dream game.
What?
Yes, I know. I went to the Atlanta Dream Phoenix Mercury game, and I must say I had such a blast. It was such a great time. This was my first time in the new Gateway Center Arena, and I think that it's the perfect venue for the Atlanta Dream. And all of the seats were great seats. I was down on the floor, and it was just a really great game and a great atmosphere. So congratulations to Renee Montgomery and the new ownership of the Atlanta Dream. Because when I used to go to the games, it started getting really boring. And it was just like, you guys really need to do something to get the fans involved. And this new experience at the Gateway Arena Center was just phenomenal. And I had a great time. And I even got a t-shirt. So it was great. You know how when they throw the t-shirts up, they threw one to me. Yay. So I had a really great time.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's it. So we don't have to worry about you throwing any more shit. I mean, I'm sorry. There's the experience of the game. I'm sorry, the experience. You
so when did I ever throw shade? Tell me that.
I mean, not really shade, but kind of like you know, it's kind of like la-di-da. So I'm glad that you were enthused about women's basketball.
Yeah, but at the same token, you can't blame me for that. I was just being honest. The old ownership, they really needed to go and look at other teams, which Phoenix Mercury was my favorite WNBA venue that I went to many, many years ago. And I was playing a volleyball national championship out there. And I went to one of their WNBA games, and it was a great experience. And then I come back to the Atlanta games, and it was just boring. So that's not throwing shade. That's just me being honest. And they needed to make changes, but this new ownership has definitely done so.
You just called a spade, treat it.
Hello. I keep it real. That's the Detroit in me. There's no faking me. I tell it how it is.
Keep it real. It's kind of like that. What's that show? What's my guy, the comedian? David Chappelle. He had a show when keeping it real goes wrong.
Yeah.
But on this show, we keep it real because we're never wrong. But the Atlanta Dream, just speaking of them real quickly, because we got to show them love. You know, they're one of the franchises here in Atlanta. They're kind of like on a 8-game losing streak, so to speak. I think they even playing tonight, 6-17. You know, they got to turn that thing around quick because the number one team in the WNBA, the Aces, they actually are reversed. They're 17-6. So the Dream, new ownership, they can do it, 3-8 at home, 3-9 on the road. So, but anything can happen, anything can happen. And it's all about grabbing that momentum. And anytime you have new ownership, that means you're going to have a new philosophy. You got to feel everybody out. Some of the girls, the ladies that are playing tonight and this season may not be there next year. So anytime you bring new ownership in, it's always going to be slow in the beginning. So you just want to see who all is on board, all hands on deck, because next year, boy, we are on the Jenny Craig. We are actually cutting weight.
Yeah, well, the head coach had to step down not too long ago. And one of the moves that I was really happy that the Atlanta Dream made is that they brought in Candace Dupree.
Yes.
Oh, my goodness. She's just phenomenal. She's a legend, future Hall of Famer. I never say that, but with her, she definitely will be one. And for them to bring her here, I think was a big move for them. And she really will bring a lot of experience and knowledge to this very young team that we have. And so, like you said, they're already making great moves. And so when I saw that they brought her here, I was like, wow, they really are looking to do some good, big things here. And so we'll see how the rest of the season goes, but I'll definitely be watching.
Yes. Go Dream.
Go Dream.
Go. Oh, Dream. I'm sorry. I got to get it all together. My bad. But now I will tell you, I did have an interest going to some Dream games, and I'll have to admit, it really wasn't so much to watch the Dream. I wanted to try to see if I could make kind of something go full circle. So they have 3 opponents coming in, and each one of the opponents has, well, 2 of them are star players. The other one's a pretty good player. All 3 of the young ladies, I had a chance to interview them really right in the next building over when they were getting awards. In the case of Asia Wilson, Player of the Year, Naismith Player of the Year, also a Diamond DeShields, Player of the Year, and also Miss, I'm getting it here. She played right here. I think Emma Keechern is coming to me. Her brother now plays for the Hawks, and Taya Cooper. Right. I actually interviewed her when she was Metro Atlanta Player of the Year. So all 3 of them actually are coming to Atlanta. So my hope is I'll be able to actually maybe get a shot to either via Zoom to interview them again, just kind of get a feedback from, okay, here we are 6 or 7 years later, now out of high school, college stars, and now starring in the NBA. Asia Wilson, as a matter of fact, being the MVP of the league last year. So that'd be really, really a cool moment for me if we can make it happen. And we're going to try to make it happen if we can. Well, let us go ahead and take a look as I put on some regular glasses so I can see what I'm doing. Here we go. Oh, the world. I can see clearly now. The rain is gone. Amen. All right. So we have several topics we want to talk about tonight. We have some hot topics, which I'm going to put out there on the screen. Let's take a look at it. There's our topics. Okay. Hot topics. A new color. Want to change it up a little bit. Some potential hot topics. Number one, have you guys heard, and what do you think about the whole Draymond and Katie interview about the Warriors breakup? I'd like to know from you guys, what do you think? Is that just Draymond kind of covering his tracks, or does he really think that it was the fault of management that caused the breakup? And number two, Tyrone, I know that you've been a college football guy. ACC, Pac-12, and Big Ten have a proposed alliance. Yay or nay on that? And what are your thoughts on that situation? High school football, we already did a little bit of that. First weekend recap, Corky Kell Classic. Our community business outreach person will be the Atlanta Airport Chamber. We'll have their CEO on, Ms. Carmelita Scott, and also her new VP for Economic Development. Braves are rolling 9 straight wins, put them in first place. They lost last night, but the question is, can they hang on and win the East and get into the playoffs? Last but not least, the Falcons preseason, another bad loss. Does anybody care? And is Felipe Franks the best option to back up Matt Ryan, or is the brand new guy they brought in, former first-round draft pick, Mr. Josh Rosen? So before we go to break, really quickly here, what did you guys think about that Katie interview? Did you see that? Him and Draymond kind of saying, oh, well, I wanted to handle it differently, and management forced me, and I was going to do it the way they said. I was going to apologize in my own way, in my own time. Do you think that's him just trying to cover his tracks, or do you think legitimately the Warriors management, including Steve Kerr, kind of led to that team breaking up? Tyrone, I'll go to you first. What are your thoughts?
Well, I say it like this: it's always a two-way street, and I've learned that whoever has the pen and pad last is going to write the story the way they want it to be read. So at the end of the day, we all know that it takes 2 to tango, takes 3 to tango. You got management, you got 2 players. The key is to tell the truth. That's what I like to say. Tell it like it is. Just like Tree, hey, call a spade a spade. If you call things spade a spade and you just get down to what the problem is, what the elephant in the room is, then you decrease your chances of getting bitter with one another. And I'll sum it up with this right here. There was an expectation, right? There was an expectation between management, Draymond, and so it fell through. It fell through. And Kevin, regardless of how he felt, they all had an expectation, and the expectation was not met. Then there was disappointment. So now you got Durant, you got Draymond, you got management. They all now trying to point the finger. But at the end of the day, if you don't handle that disappointment, it's going to turn into anger. And if anger is not handled, it's going to turn into resentment. And then if you don't take care of resentment and face it, then it's going to turn into bitterness. And then at the end of the day, you're going to come back trying to write your story, your narrative, the way you want it to be believed. So at the end of the day, it's all 3: management, Durant, and Draymond.
All right, let's go to the lovely Queen. What are your thoughts on that situation? Is Draymond just covering tracks, or legitimately do you think that the management team for the Warriors kind of screwed everything up?
I agree with Tyrone. It takes 3 to tango in this situation. I do think that Draymond played a big part of it. Like, everybody knows that I root him on. Yay, he went to Michigan State. So I'm like, oh, Draymond. But at the same token, that mouth on him, I'm not a fan of. And he does create a lot of issues and problems that are truly unnecessary. So I do think that he's partially telling the truth in that sense. But as Tyrone said, and I also do agree that all 3 are at fault.
Yeah, I think that at the end of the day, the management team kind of maybe, according to Draymond, kind of was forcing him to apologize. But at the end of the day, the guy shot off his mouth. you got a star player, future Hall of Famer, sometimes you got to eat a little crow, man. Just go to the guy and say, look, man, I kind of mishandled it. Now, he claimed, I was going to do that my own way later. But, I mean, a lot of that to me is like, look, you work for these people. They're paying your salary. You got a team that's a championship level team just on GP to say, I want to win more championships. Because really a lot of it is because, like he said, he's getting the brakes beat off him now. I mean, the team is terrible. So,
yeah, I mean, forget the win the championship part. Forget the money aspect. If you do wrong, you should apologize. And he said he was going to wait and do it at a later time. What are you waiting for? If someone does wrong to you, you're going to want that apology when they've done wrong. So why are you waiting? So again, that's what I say with him in that mouth. So you did wrong. You should apologize. Time you realize it, hey, I'm sorry, take care of it. Management shouldn't have even had the opportunity to approach him to tell him to do it because he should have already done it. So be a man or a woman. Just be a human being and just treat people how you want to be treated. So it's not even about championships. It's not even about checks. It's just about being a good person and just treating people how you want to be treated. So that's why when I hear all of that, it's just like, whatever. That's just, it's neither here nor there.
Well, it goes back to my point again. Like I said, there's an expectation. There's an expectation between players and teammates and ownership. And when that expectation is not realized or it doesn't happen, then there is disappointment sets in. And then at that point, they should have handled it right there. But because they didn't, that disappointment then turned into anger with one another. They should have handled it right there. They didn't. Then it turned into bitterness. Now they don't want to play with one another. Now this is where it is. So at the end of the day, the cream rises to the top, and you're gonna, every knee gonna bow. Hello. Gonna confess that I was wrong. So as long as they're real, meaningful with their apologies, then hey, you know what? Water up under the bridge. Forgive you, forgive me. We make mistakes. Let's move on.
Well, speaking of let's move on and doing the right thing, we got to make sure our sponsors get their plug in. You're listening to the Real Talk Sports Show, watching the Real Talk Sports Show, and we'll be back in just a moment. Don't go nowhere, please. Thank you.
Did you know that Allen Vigil Ford in Morrow, Georgia also has Lincoln? Over 35 years of using the Vigil Touch to provide excellent customer service, works hand in hand with the Lincoln Motor Company to provide a luxurious and seamless way to acquire your next luxury vehicle. Lincoln has an array of full-service complimentary owner benefits. These benefits include hospitality partnerships, service pickup and delivery, all which can be accessed through the Lincoln Way app. You can even contact the 24/7 concierge to have someone assist you. Come and see our great inventory of new and pre-owned Lincolns today. Call 678-364-7345 to make an appointment with one of our brand champions or shop 24/7 online at allenvigillincoln.net.
That was a little bit of the Hoover Bucks band. Now, I got to tell you guys something, what was incredible for me. Now, I know that these guys around the country have these big-time programs, but to see a high school come out with what apparently was somewhere around 150-member band, they had the full dance crew. They had all the cheerleaders. I mean, these guys weren't playing around. This really was like watching, a college team come out there. I was just – I mean, listen, I know that maybe up in the Northeast, we don't kind of, do like that for high school football, but and maybe certainly Tyrone used that. But I mean, it was just incredible, the spectacle of watching the Hoover team come in here and do what they did. So yeah, man, it was just off the chain. I mean, I could not believe that high school sports could be at that level.
First impressions. That's what I'll say. First impressions. And again, Hoover football, for everybody who's listening and watching, Hoover football is big in Alabama. So that's how they do it. They may not be in Texas. They do it big in Texas, but they're in Alabama. So Hoover does it big in Alabama. So they want to do it big here in Georgia.
Yeah, no doubt. And, certainly kudos to North Gwinnett, and all the schools from Georgia that came out. I didn't see any band that was as big as that one, but at the end of the day, man, it was just a spectacle. And it was great to see all those kids be able to play in the Georgia Dome. Beautiful day all day long, and just to see those buses roll in there, man, with fans. It was just, for a moment, for a split second, you almost kind of forgot that we were still kind of dealing with this pandemic. Because, like I said again, just seeing so many people out there and really seeing some great football. Tyrone, just now, I know you had a lot of experience here at LaGrange, another great program in Georgia. What was kind of the biggest game that you remember in terms of fond memories of playing high school football?
Well, all the games are big, to be honest with you, because it's all about rankings. And the 2021 season, you got 7 different divisions here in high school football. You got Milton and Collins Hill and Colquitt County and even Walton, where my son goes to school. They're the tops in 7A, and then 6A. You got Buford; they got a big program. Lee County, Westlake. So every game counts, because at the end of the day, you want to have the top rankings, because it does mean a lot. And so all the high school programs, all the way down to 4A, Jefferson. You got Marist, Perry, all these high schools, Cedar Grove, Peach County, Callaway. So this is what Georgia football is all about. So Fitzgerald, hey, the kids are playing for their communities. They're playing for their school. They're playing for pride. They're playing for those scouts that are going to view this film and offer them a scholarship. So high school football is exciting.
Yeah, no doubt. And, Tree, notice how Tyrone, you could tell he's always the politician. He must hit every school. He hit all the different class 8A, 9A, 6A, 4A. He went down South Georgia. He went on here Metro Atlanta. He went on the north side. Tyrone made sure I'm hitting everybody, because, hey, you never know. Somebody pick up the phone. Hey, we heard you talking about our program. You want to be our head coach? So, yeah, Tyrone just made sure to do that good politicking to make sure that everything was straight. But it's true. And Collins Hill boasting, like you said, the top player in the country, the wide receiver. I think he had 10 receptions, 140 yards, 2 touchdowns. So, yeah, man, it was just good stuff, and good to see, again, everybody out there enjoying high school football. Tree, I know you kind of weren't in football, but your team, did you guys have a particular opponent that you said, hey, man, this is it? This is the game we look forward to? Oh, I'm not sure if I still got her there. There she is. Yeah, so the question, Tree, do you guys have a team in football? I know you were a volleyball and basketball guy, but did you have a team that you said, hey, we're up for this, we're going to come out, we're going to support the football team against this particular squad? Who was your squad, your go-to against?
In my high school?
Yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm.
So let me just say.
Taking you back there, Tree. We're taking you back there.
Right. Yeah, no, and that's fine. But I do have to say that I went to a private school and we only had 300 students. So our football team was not good at all. And I think I can count on one hand with maybe like 3 fingers left how many football games I went to. But part of that was because I was always at practice or playing. I literally played every sport possible. I was in Michigan Math League. I did AAU basketball, AAU volleyball on top of the school sports. I did ballet. So I was always, playing pretty much. So I wasn't able to go to the football games, and they weren't even exciting because our team was really awful.
Shoot, wow. Tree, you should have been, man, you should have been in the Olympics. Heptathlon. I'm like, all those things you were doing, I'm like, you would have been a heck of a heptathlon athlete in the Olympics.
Yeah, I definitely stayed busy, ran track. I mean, I played just about every sport possible, was on the step team. I can go on and on. Yeah.
Wow. So in other words, you took participation to the next level in high school. You were like, look, I'm going to do everything I can possibly do because I'm only going to high school one time. You were like, hey, I'm all in.
Yeah. Well, it started in 8th grade where I just played every sport possible. And in high school, don't get me wrong, my high school didn't have a ballet team. So that was outside of the high school. Michigan Math League was a part of it. But then my AAU basketball and AAU volleyball was outside of the school. But everything else was during school. And that's, even if you notice, that's how I am now. I run multiple businesses. I run multiple nonprofit organizations. I give back a lot. I sit on the board of another nonprofit. I'm always go, 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 do. And I don't stay busy just to stay busy, because you can be busy and not productive. But I like to be productive and busy, and also just like to help a lot of people, and just, the Lord has blessed me with many talents. So I like to definitely help a lot of people, because all of my businesses help people.
Well, no doubt, man. I mean, that's it. And I just want to let you guys know that we have our first official live stream game of the season coming up. Last week, some of you may or may not know, but the Jonesboro Mount Zion Backyard Brawl, which is the kickoff of rivalry game at Terra Stadium, had to be postponed due to a couple of kids testing positive for COVID. I think everybody's okay. So we're back at it again, as Jonesboro will be hosting Eagles Landing on Thursday night. So if you guys are around, please come on out and support. Game starts at 7 p.m. You can also watch the game on realtalksports.net. Just click listen live now, and it will take you to the live stream broadcast. So again, guys, come on out and support high school football. There's plenty of room in the stadium for social distancing. There's seats 7,000 people. So, if you don't like somebody, you can sit way far away. You don't have to worry about being close at all. And definitely, if you come, stay away from them cameras, because I'm just pointing out that some of y'all blocking my camera shot. And plus, I don't want you breathing too close on me. So y'all get back. That's a public service announcement. Stay away from the Real Talk Sports broadcast. I'm just saying. But anyway, yeah, please come out and support. Like I said, again, it is great to see that. And then we'll be back out there again Friday night for another game as well. We're doing a doubleheader this week. So please, I feel like doing what they say in church. Please play my strength in the Lord, because their back-to-back games are kind of rough. They're like 3-4 hours a clip. So again, guys, if you're around, come on out and support and do what you need to do. All right, we're going to take a quick little break, because I see our community outreach guests are there, and we're going to get to them because they have a very, very busy schedule. You listen to the Real Talk Sports Show. Don't go nowhere. We'll be right back.
Are you in the market for a new vehicle? Well, check out Allen Vigil Ford Lincoln in Morrow, Georgia. We have one of the largest inventories in our area for both new and pre-owned vehicles, so we're sure to have something for everyone. Family owned and operated since 1982, customer satisfaction is our number one priority. Come see our full lineup of vehicles and find the one that best fits you. Give us a call today, 678-726-5739, or shop us 24/7 online at allenvigilford.net. The day has arrived. It's time to let more people know about your business. You have the right marketing plan and the messaging in place. But do you have the right messenger? Good advertising and promotions need a professional sound so the message can be clearly understood. Don't leave your brand image to chance. Let our team of voiceover experts at CME lend you a hand. Give us a call at 678-304-8121 to find out how we can partner with you to give your business its voice.
All right, guys, we're back here on the Real Talk Sports Show. We like to do it. We always like to try to give a spotlight to people who are doing good in our community. Also, some of our businesses here that are doing well for the community as well. And we want to go right to the heart of the matter. Instead of just bringing multiple businesses on, we're actually going to go to some people that really help promote business as a whole. The Atlanta Airport Chamber has been serving South Metro Atlanta for many years. This young lady I'm about to bring on, she's going to introduce herself. She is the CEO and president, I believe, in the green room. Miss Carmelita Scott is there. Are you there?
Yes, sir, I am.
Well, welcome to our show. Very excited to have you on with us.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Oh, no doubt. And I think you also have some other members from the chamber with you as well.
We should have Charles James from the chamber, and he's part of our marketing team.
Okay. And I think we also have Mr. Webster as well.
I do not believe so.
Okay. Well, then there we go. Let's go ahead and pop up here. Here we go. Bingo. All right. So tell us a little bit about the Atlanta Airport Chamber and kind of really what area do they focus on, and how do you guys go about helping out businesses in the Atlanta Airport area?
Well, the ATL Airport Chamber is focused on the airport region and the Southern Crescent. And what we're trying to do is to help those businesses in that region become sustainable. And during the pandemic, not that it's over, we held a series of events on how to do business with the municipality, airport, etc. And what we found out is that a lot of small business were not set up for success, that they did not have the infrastructure for it. So we decided to take a pivot and we started an airport's economic ecosystem development program. And that program is to help women, the Black, Indigenous people of color or BIPOC, and veteran-owned companies become successful in what they're doing and obtain government, commercial, and corporate contracts.
Well, that sounds pretty exciting, and I know both of my co-hosts are very involved in business as well. Tree, what do you think about the chamber taking such an aggressive outreach like this?
I love it. I love that you're helping people sustain their businesses. What was the big initiative to make you guys start doing this in the first place? And why did you think there was such a need in that area?
Well, first of all, we looked at some statistics, and when you look at those, there's quite a disparity among the groups that we mentioned. So, for an example, in 2019, 11% of BIPOC-owned small businesses paid their employees compared to 22% of non-minority-owned businesses. Also, during that year, minority-owned businesses increased by 35%. But their average gross receipts decreased by 16%. Large banks approved 60% of loans sought by white small business owners, 50% of Hispanic, and 29% of Black. And then when we looked at the disparity between minority and non-minority women-owned businesses, it's just increasing. In 2014, minority-owned businesses were about $68,000. And the non-minority was $198,000. In 2019, that number went down from minority-owned to $65,000, almost $66,000, but it went up for the non-minority woman up to $218,000. And so when we were holding the seminars to help the small business community at the beginning of the pandemic maintain sustainability, we noticed that they didn't have the infrastructure to maintain that sustainability. So they didn't have things like a DUNS number. They did not have what they would need to get any type of grant funding. And some didn't even have bookkeeping or ledgers in place. Others were not registered with the Secretary of State. And so we decided, okay, we're just going to help everyone get this together. So our vision on all of this is, with a group of partners, we've decided that we should enhance the socioeconomic development comprehensively through airport ecosystems. And in doing that, we would thus be increasing sustainable growth opportunities for women, BIPOC, and veteran-owned commercial, corporate, and government contracting firms. So in doing this, we're serving small to medium-tier businesses in those areas. We're providing access to new opportunities such as contracting opportunities, business development, infrastructure enhancement, and we're collaborating with strategic partners such as airports, governments, and corporations. Now, a lot of people ask us, what is an economic ecosystem? We define that as all financial transactions that can be attributed to the utilization of existence of an airport anywhere in the world. So it's all facets airport, anything from shipping products to technology to entertainment to public relations to human resources, cybersecurity, all of that, and then some things in between.
That's a big mouthful. It seems like somehow or another my mind is thinking, how can I get a piece of the pie? That's what I really was thinking when all you were breaking these things, and you said, hey, basically, if you're any way, shape, or form connected to the airport. So I'm even thinking, if you took a plane somewhere, some kind of way, you can find a way to get some money. Now Charles, is he involved like in the ground floor of the economic development? Kind of what is your focus, Charles?
Yeah, thanks, Jonathan. So I really assist Carmen Lita, kind of with the governmental affairs, the corporate relations, and the partnerships. So that's kind of my role to kind of back Carmen Lita up and assist her with the infrastructure, if you will, of the program. Yeah.
That sounds great. So I'm gonna go into the green room here, and I think I have Mr. Lenny Webster in the green room. I believe. Let's see if I can get him up into the show. Lenny, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here. Can you guys hear me?
We can hear you.
Mhm.
Okay,
Well,
okay, okay. Cool, cool.
what do you think about what you've heard so far, there, kind sir?
Well, I didn't hear much. I've been trying to get linked in, but finally, I guess I'm on. So I didn't hear much.
All right. Well, we're excited to have you on, and it's just a
Thanks
great
for having
blessing.
me.
Tyrone,
Thanks for
you
having me.
also are an entrepreneur and a businessman. What do you think about the idea, again, of a chamber getting so involved at this ground level to try to promote, especially small businesses?
Well, I'm gonna tell you what, Miss Scott, Mr. Jones, Mr. Webster, my Dunn's number. If you guys, I have a foundation, Tyrone Pool 38 Foundation. So if you guys can get me, help me any kind of way, my Dunn's number is 007-01-8151. So I am ready. I am ready to roll. I am legit. But no, seriously. No, but seriously, hey, anything you guys can do to help me, hey, I'm trying to help build champions in every community myself. So I appreciate and applaud what you guys are doing. I think infrastructure is one key word that I heard you say, Miss Scott, that a lot of companies don't have the infrastructure. If you don't have the infrastructure, I don't care how great your idea is. It's like laying on one nail versus a bed of nails. And that one nail, one person, is too much pressure. And it's going to cause some damage. But when you have everything laid out, just like you alluded to, Miss Scott, then it's like laying on a bed of nails and everything's in order. So I appreciate what you guys are doing. And again, Tyrone Pool 38 Foundation. I got
See, but again, this is why it's called real talk. I mean, at the end of the day, what good is it to have the CEO of the Atlanta Airport Chamber, not just like some chamber out in the weeds. This is the Atlanta Airport is, I believe, has the largest traffic footprint of any airport in the world. Is that correct?
That's correct. It's the most traveled airport in the world.
So who else would we want to connect to than Miss Scott? So there's no question. You people right there, there it is. Contact the Atlanta Airport Chamber. Miss Scott and her and Mr. Jones, Mr. James, I'm sure will be more than happy to assist you to get your business up and running. Not so much up and running, but really, my understanding, if I'm hearing this right, is to take advantage of the business that's there, millions, even billions of dollars in terms of government contracting, in terms of supporting other mainline contractors or subcontractors, if I'm hearing that correctly.
And yes, you are hearing it correctly.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what else we can do for you folks. This is something for those you replay viewers. I know you've got this set up so you can replay it again and again against Atlanta Airport Chamber, and so many great things that are going on. Now, what else do you guys offer? There's ways to connect with the chamber, like say, for example, a person just wanted to get a sample of what you guys are doing. Do you have like events that are open to the public?
We do. We have events that are open to the public, and we have a sample membership also. Our membership is called Shared Base. So it is dependent upon how many employees you have. But we do have a sample membership called Chamber Friends. You can sign up to be a chamber friend, come to some events, and if you like what you see, then you can turn around and join. If you don't like what you see, by all means, let us know, because even though we feel we're doing a good job, we want to go from good to great. So if you see something that's stopping us from hitting great, we would greatly appreciate it if you'd let us know.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. I can't think of a more friendly invitation than that. Now, is there a website where people can find out more about you and the chamber, especially kind of some of the stuff that they're doing?
Well, we make it easy for you because we're the Airport Chamber. So our website is airportchamber.com.
Okay, now don't take a brain surgeon for that. Airportchamber.com. You heard that, guys? One more time, airportchamber.com. lincolnmotorclub.com. Check them out. Go on the website. I believe you guys list the events that you have going on there as well. Is that correct?
We list our events. Also, there's information on this program. So across our toolbar, there's a link that says AEEDP, which stands for Airports Economic Ecosystem Development Program. Click that link. It'll tell you everything you need to know, and it'll give you an opportunity to fill in a form, and then we will contact you to see how we can help you or how you can help us. Because we have mentors in the program, and so we have an international strategic think tank in the program. So there may be opportunities for us to help you, and you help us as well.
I'm on it, baby. I'm on it, Miss Scott. I'm on it.
See, that's a true entrepreneur. He didn't let nothing drop. He's like already on it now. See, Tree is a little bit more low key. She's in the background. You'll probably get an email or something. Click
Right.
Airport Chamber.
Right. I will definitely do it as well, but you're right. I am more low key.
Yeah, she more low key. She's like, no, I'm not putting it out like that. I'm gonna handle my business privately. But Tyrone knows that. Hey, listen. Well, you know, Tyrone, a closed mouth don't get fed. He's like, look, I'm putting my fork in the plate right now.
Hey.
I'm not wasting no time.
Hey,
So in addition to our website, we're on all the social media channels to include LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all of it. And we have a newsletter that comes out on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday that gives updates on what we have going on. So if you like our newsletter, just sign up as a chamber friend and you'll get a copy of our newsletter.
That's what I'm talking about. Now, what are you guys on social media? Just Airport Chamber?
We're everything.
Everything.
We're airportchamber.com. We're hashtag Atlanta Airport. We're hashtag ATL Airport. So, you know, you can go to our you can go to any of those channels and we're easy to find.
Well, there you go. You saw it right there, guys. It was airportchamber.com. I'm going to fix it right here. I'm gonna do it like this. We're going to go ahead and let you guys see it once again on the banner. And we're going to play it right now. There it is. Look at the bottom of the screen. Bam! airportchamber.com. So you can't say we didn't tell you how to get out there and make that money, secure the bag, get that cheddar, whatever kind of, way you want to call it, get the coin. Bottom line is airportchamber.com. Check them out. Doing great things here, not only in South Metro Atlanta, but I dare say all around Atlanta and even into Georgia. So again, contact them. Carmelita Scott, thank you. Mr. James, thank you. And Mr. Webster, next time we're gonna get you like the pre-hookup, to make sure like you that you locked in.
I appreciate it.
I saw you come in the chamber a couple of times. I was like, should I go to him now? And then like when I got in, I was like, hey, how are you? He's like, I didn't hear a daggone thing. So I'm like,
give me on early next time.
Right. So really quickly, so kind of what's your role? And in this chamber, what do you think about all the things that are going on down there at the Metro Atlanta Chamber? Or I should say Atlanta Airport Chamber. I'm so sorry.
Well, I guess from what they're saying and what I'm hearing, a lot of great things. From my side of things, I'm involved from a Major League Baseball standpoint. I do a lot of stuff with Major League Baseball. And like she was saying, I've lived in Atlanta for the past 26, 27 years and recently moved to Orlando. So the airport is one of the busiest places or busiest airports that I've come across. So all the positive things that I'm hearing about the chamber just sounds great.
Now, being with Major League Baseball, that's great stuff. And like I say again, we look forward to having you continue to join us here. And I know your tag team partner Clemente Gordon is out there somewhere listening, watching. So I'm gonna let you talk a little bit about that when we come out of the break. Kind of some of the things you're doing in Major League Baseball and some of the things you're doing to impact the community as well. All right, guys, listen. Keep it locked right here. We're coming back with more of the Real Talk Sports Show. Don't worry, football fans. I got good news. You know who is coming back to talk about your Atlanta Falcons. But you won't be able to hear him or anything about the Falcons unless you keep it locked right here for more of the Real Talk Sports Show. We'll be back in just a moment. Stay tuned.
Did you know that Allen Vigil Ford in Morrow, Georgia also has Lincoln? Over 35 years of using the Vigil Touch to provide excellent customer service, works hand in hand with the Lincoln Motor Company to provide a luxurious and seamless way to acquire your next luxury vehicle. Lincoln has an array of full-service complimentary owner benefits. These benefits include hospitality partnerships, service pickup and delivery, all which can be accessed through the Lincoln Way app. You can even contact the 24/7 concierge to have someone assist you. Come and see our great inventory of new and pre-owned Lincolns today. Call 678-364-7345 to make an appointment with one of our brand champions or shop 24/7 online at allenvisuallincoln.net.
Nothing better than the sound of diesel in the morning. And what better place to get high horsepower diesel than the all-new 2020 Ford F-250, now with 475 horsepower and over 1,000 foot-pounds of torque. You know where to get it? For me, the minister, Jonathan Simmons at Allen Visual Ford Commercial Sales. Because you know why? I'm the commercial truck guy in a shirt and tie. So yeah, if you guys do need a truck or a vehicle, please let me know. You can contact me directly, 678-410-9833. I do have to put out a little true disclosure here. Right now, we don't have no Super Duty trucks. So I'm just saying the chip crisis has crushed us. So we are getting some in, but right now we do not have any in. Well, one guy we do have in here is a guy that is a man that has been around a football like Tyrone, a proud graduate of HBCU, used to sling it around at the quarterback position at Grambling University. Welcome back to our show, Mr. Clemente Gordon. Sir, how you be?
I'm good. How about you all? How's everybody doing? Last time I had some audio issues. Can everyone hear me?
I was just about to say, I can hear you.
Can everybody hear me now? Can everybody hear me now?
We hear you. We hear you.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Yeah, so
Yeah.
no
What's
doubt.
up,
Team, what's going on? How you feeling?
Man, what's happening? What's going on,
All
brother?
right, all
That's
right,
my brother
all
right there.
All right, all right.
Well, I know all you guys, the three of you, especially you, Clemente, and you, Tyrone, have got to be excited about the MEAC SWAC kickoff game coming here to Atlanta, being played at, they now changed the name of the stadium. I guess it's called Park Stadium, which is really the home of the Georgia State Panthers and the former home of the Atlanta Braves. So how pumped are you to have this game back in the building here and giving some people some taste of HBCU football?
Well, I'm extremely excited about it. We have had the Celebration Bowl here, the Black College National Championship for the past couple of years, but I've always wanted more. And the SWAC MEAC Challenge has started coming in. It's a great game. It's always a good turnout. And it's always some good bands and stuff. You know, that's the Black College way. A lot of people watch the first half of the football game, then they watch the halftime show. Then a lot of them go back to the tailgate. But I think this year's going to be a good game. You know, North Carolina Central hasn't really fared well against SWAC teams, but I think this year, you know, they're going to try to change that.
Tyrone, how about you? Again, a proud graduate. How does it make you feel to have this game, now the kickoff game, almost like Chick-fil-A Bowl?
Well, you know, it's good that any HBCU program is getting an opportunity to get exposure, you know, whether it's North Carolina Central, Alcorn State, or, you know, Thursday, I think week 1 starts for Mississippi Valley State and Murray State. But, you know, let's not forget about the SIAC, okay? Commissioner Gregory Moore, you know, even though we're Division II status, we're still HBCU. So what he has done, again, it's all about exposure, whether it's whoever, Alcorn, or if it's North Carolina Central. But what the SIAC has done, we have been given 22 games on ESPN. So that in itself should change a little bit of the landscape as far as getting exposure to these athletes, bringing in some income to these HBC universities, because at the end of the day, we play great football there. I'm a proven product of it. There are other people before me. We're talking to some guests tonight that have proven that HBCU athletes can thrive, and you know what? We have great talent. So again, whether it's the SIAC, the MEAC, or the CIAA, or the SWAC, I call us the Power Four. You know, you got the Power Five, which they condensed that a little bit. I don't know if you can call it the Power Five now, but we're still the Power Four. So that's one thing about HBCU football and sports and family. Man, we're gonna always stick together now. So the Power Four gonna be around forever.
That's right.
Well, seems like y'all already, Tyrone already ready. And He's gonna give us some breaking news about SIAC and some things that are going on in one of our future broadcasts. We look forward to that. And like you said, Clemente, I mean, I know you're pumped up because you're gonna kind of be along with Tyrone, kind of our point man for HBCU. Since he's gonna be handling SIAC, I'm gonna be looking for you to hold it down for the MEAC and for the SWAC. And make it do what it do. And see, Tree's just back there soaking all this up. She's like, man, this is HBCU. Now, let me ask you a question, Tree. Have you had a chance to go to one or two HBCU games, and what are your thoughts about the pomp and circumstance of how they do it in black colleges?
Yes, I have gone to just a couple of games. I know I went to Middle Tennessee, and a lot of people used to always go to the TSU games. I only went to a couple because I only like supporting my university and not others. But it was a fun experience. The band was always nice. And then when I was at Howard University, I got to experience that because I did train for the USA volleyball team at Howard University, and it was a nice experience.
Yeah, pretty epic. Mr. Lenny, what you think about that HBCU experience when you go to the game?
It's nothing like it. I mean, having attended Grambling, having the opportunities of going to Bayou Classics and things of that nature, it's nothing like it. I think that everybody should experience it at least one time in their life. Some type of Bayou Classic or some type of event where you got two pretty big schools going at it, and it's tradition. I think it makes for some good football.
Well,
and a great band.
Absolutely. Can't forget about the bands. Absolutely.
Let's keep
I gotta
it real.
say this too. Can I say this?
Yes, sir.
This is for Tree. Now, Tree is from Detroit, y'all. She love all Detroit sports. So HBCU comes up in the state of Michigan too. Now, Detroit has held some HBCU classic. They brought schools like FAMU and Alabama State up there to play some classics. So, hey, give some shout out and some love to Detroit, the Motor City.
Yeah.
Amen. That's real talk right there. Yeah. So at the end of the day, what we are seeing, you mentioned it, Tyrone, when you talked about what they're doing at SIAC, ESPN made a commitment to HBCUs a few years ago. It's all revolving around the whole having the Celebration Bowl and so forth. They're committed to televised games on all of their ESPN channels, ESPNU, ESPN3, and then occasionally, obviously, in prime time on ESPN. So, yeah, man, there's definitely a lot of eyeballs there. And now you're starting to see, like in the case of having Deion Sanders now at Jackson State, I think you're going to see more and more former NFL players getting more engaged with HBCUs, which is only going to add to not only the luster, but the ability to bring in top quality candidates. I don't care how good you coach, you got to have some players on the field and some guys that can play. So
you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And like I said on the show before, I think Deion Sanders is good for the SWAC and for all HBCU football, because I'm gonna tell you, by ESPN making that commitment and having all of the HBCU games on now, that really keeps us from getting, and I hated it. But that keeps us from playing University of Miami, USC, and going out and just getting hammered, the first and second game of the season. And then just to get a payday. But that's how the HBCU schools had to get money from somewhere. And that's what they were doing, going out playing those big schools and getting killed. And that brings down the morale of the team. You got injuries coming after that. It's a lot of stuff going on. So I'm really proud of ESPN for making that commitment.
Well, you're talking about getting that payday. One of the games I had a chance to cover a couple of years ago was when a very good Alcorn State team rolled into Atlanta to play Georgia Tech. Now, I will tell you that it was a lopsided game, but it is so funny that to actually see something that I found kind of comical. So, like everybody talks about, Tree, you mentioned the band. So, Georgia Tech is winning pretty handily. And then I noticed something. I was like, normally it's a big swarm of the crowd to go to concession stand. I'm looking, ain't nobody going nowhere. I'm like, what's going on? So I'm like, something must be happening. Next thing you know, I have never in my life, and I'm just being real, seen so many baby boom age white people with cell phones going toward that field in my life. Everybody was just eyes open like little kids. I'm thinking to myself, Y'all never seen this before? Evidently not. So it is really incredible the impact that the bands and the whole spectacle of the dance routine, the cheers, everything. Because them people, I mean, it was like, and everybody looking at me, I'm like, hey, I don't have nothing to do with the school. I mean, I appreciate the love. But it's really interesting though the impact that the bands have had over the years, and what the hope is obviously at some point that the level of play on the field will be, comparative. But let's keep it real, folks. Now let's not throw complete shade. We do know that every now and then there have been some upsets and some near upsets. We know that Hampton, led by a guy from right here, Cam Newton's younger brother, pulled a big upset a couple of years ago. The two-time defending celebration champ, North Carolina A&T, gave Duke and North Carolina over the years everything they could handle before losing those games. So, we can see that it's coming on the horizon. Let's go here to social media, and I knew it would bring him up. The Sports Encyclopedia, Mr. Football, going in the Wayback Machine. He asked a question to you HBCU guys. The 1966 Tennessee State team, he says, was the greatest HBCU football team of all time. I don't know much about that team. I do know that they had teams in the 70s with Ed Too Tall Jones. I think the 72 team put something like 27 guys on the team got drafted or something like that. So those days could return. Let me do this really quickly. Mr. Webster, tell us a little bit about your connection with MLB and what you're doing kind of to give back to the community. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Well, after playing 12 plus years for 5 different teams, I dove right into baseball, helping kids, working with kids, I should say. And I decided to start a foundation. And upon starting that foundation, it turned into creating travel baseball teams and creating avenues for kids to play. And over the last 5 or 6 years, I've been involved in Major League Baseball and some pretty good stuff, some pretty big events that they put on yearly, such as the Dream Series that they have in January, where they invite some of the best high school kids, predominantly black kids. You see a few other kids, but predominantly our kids. They invite them for about 4 days, and they run through this type of spring training deal, just like the big leaguers do. So it's an introduction to the big leagues, and we try to prepare these kids for the next step. And the program has been it's been received well. We've had a lot of success stories that's come about. We've, over the last, like I said, 5 years, we probably averaged 50 kids that sign and go to college, and maybe 20 to 30 kids that get drafted professionally every summer. COVID kind of put a damper on a lot of things. We talked about how we're trying to bring the black kids back into the game, bring the kids, bring the energy back into the game. We have to start with our young kids, and that's what we're doing. It's very promising right now, and I think in the next few years, in the next 5 to 10 years, I think those numbers are going to start changing, where you start seeing an influx of young black kids in the big leagues.
Yeah, does this coincide at all with, I think baseball had a program called RBI, I think it was, returning baseball to inner cities?
Reviving baseball in the inner cities. It's somewhat connected with RBI, but it's not. And what I mean by this, you get some elite RBI kids who do get invited to these events, but for the most part, it's the most talented kids across the country. Okay. African American kids that get invited to these events. There's an event during the course of the summer, 2 weeks in July, from mid-July to the beginning of August. We'll have 125 kids come in from ages 13 to 15. They'll come in for a week and run through like a spring training environment for a week. They get treated like big leaguers once again. They have gear for them when they come. And after this week, after that week is over, we get another group of kids, an older group from 16 to 18 that come in. And it's the same thing, but you got older kids that you're working with. But you have these kids come in and they get to work with former major league players, Hall of Fame players come in and work with these kids. So it's a huge honor for these kids to get invited, but it's also a tremendous experience for the kids as well.
Well, that's that's just great stuff, man. I'm happy to hear that. It's you've seen the numbers decline quite a bit in baseball as far as African American participation, so that's really it. Last question here. We're gonna pop up here from social media. It says from Vincent Turner, Mr. Webster. He said, "Give my boy Reggie Williams, the new baseball coach of Alcorn State, a little love."
He got it, man. I'm happy for Reggie. Reggie was a little older than me. He played at Southern right before I got to Grambling, but I remember some stories about Reggie Williams. He's a pretty good ball player. Got a chance to play in the major leagues as well. So I think it's an excellent hire for Alcorn. He has a tremendous background. I mean, he's coached in the pros, and then coming back to an HBCU, I think it's awesome, man. So kudos to Reggie and the best of luck to him.
Okay, how can people find out more about you and what you're doing? Do you have a website or social media?
Well, I mean, people can find me at, my email is lennywebster at Gmail. And of course, the social media, I'm on Instagram at Lenny Webster. So I'm easy to find. I'm available. So there it is.
Lenny Webster, and I'll put it back on the screen so you guys can see the name before he goes. It's right there. Lenny Webster, he's the guy you want to contact, especially if you know some young people that want to get more involved in the sport of baseball. Lenny Webster is your guy. Well, listen, man, we appreciate you coming in to join us here. I'm glad that Clemente kind of got us connected here, and we look forward to have you come back on and talk some more baseball. Cause I know you kind of checking out the Atlanta Braves. They hot now. Yeah, they hot. Yeah, they balling.
I'm not a big Braves fan. I'm not gonna sit there and lie to you, but I wish them well.
Oh.
But they're not my favorite, dude. I'm just gonna keep it real. They're not a favorite of mine.
Put your shades on, real. Put your shades on.
That's not what you do.
He can put his shades on, bro. Hey, man, it's some stuff the Braves did over the years, man. I can't do it. I'm sorry. Yeah. I can't be a Braves fan, man. I'm just keeping it real.
Man, we have to kick this guy from the studio, man. Hold up one second. I can't do it like that. I can't do it. I know you got to keep it real, but hang on one second. I got to get a shout out here from YouTube. Says Miss Williams says, thanks for trying to pull those brown kids back into baseball. Amen. So we want to give you a shout out.
Thank you, Miss Williams. That's what we're trying to do.
There's Mr. Turner. He says, me and Reggie are both from the 901. He's Memphis all the way. He got to put it out like that. And one more thing, Mr. Turner, he says, tell Mr. Gordon to give John Merritt, the legend of Tennessee State, some love as well. So Mr. Turner making sure everybody gets some love. He politicking too. Isn't that something?
He got love. John Merritt got love. Yeah.
There you go. All right, well, listen, guys, we're going to take a quick break. And then, listen, don't go nowhere. Mr. Webster, I'm going to let you go. Clemente, I'm going to let you hang around because I'm bringing on. I'm bringing on the man himself, Mr. Falcons coverage. You saying who's that? Well, you got to tune back in to find out. You listen to the Real Talk Sports Show. We'll be back in just a moment. Please don't go nowhere. Please stay right there. We love you.
All right.
This is OJ Howard with Real Talk Sports. What's up, guys? This is Tim Tebow. You're listening to Real Talk Sports.
This is Charles Woodson. Let me grab the mic. You ready? This is Charles Woodson with Real Talk Sports. Hey, it's your boy JB Smooth with Real Talk Sports.
All right, guys, we're back here. You're listening to the Real Talk Sports Show, watching the Real Talk Sports Show on channels everywhere. We thank God for all those of you who are watching on the replay on Periscope, IK, Twitter TV, also on YouTube, and even on Facebook. And we definitely thank all the groups on Facebook that let us share this broadcast on their page. All right, guys, I know you chomping at the bit, so we ain't going to waste no more time. He is the embedded sports writer for AJC Sports for your Atlanta Falcons. He is an award-winning sports writer as well, and Esquire par excellence. The one and only D. Orlando Ledbetter is back. Sir, welcome back.
Thanks for having me, Reverend. Glad to be here tonight. Hello to everybody in the room. Tyrone,
how you doing?
Mente, and Miss Tree. It's good seeing you all here tonight.
All right.
Well,
It's good seeing you from your travels. So before I say anything else, I'm going to defer to the Queen to see if she may have some questions for you about our Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah, so basically, from everything that you've been saying, what has been the biggest highlight so far of the preseason?
Well, the biggest highlight so far has been, practice. They actually haven't played much in the games. They're holding everything back. So what we get to see in practice of Kyle Pitts has been the highlight of training camp so far. A lot of spectacular catches. A lot of movement, a lot of different things that they're trying to do with the 4th overall pick in the draft. I know not to get too excited about practice, especially when they're not tackling and they don't have on pads some days. But that's the highlight we have for you, Miss Tree, right now, heading into this last exhibition game.
Well, I think that's a great highlight because I'm actually looking and hoping that Kyle Pitts does have a huge breakout season. So the fact that he's doing great in practice, I'm just getting my hopes up.
Well, yes, that's where we're at right now. They're trying to make sure that he's ready to go and that he's not thinking out there, and that he can play, as fast as he can with all the things they put on his plate.
Tyrone, how about you?
But no, I'm,
Any questions for D-Led?
Playing the game, I don't get excited at this point. Mm-hmm. So my questions are null and void. I have real questions when the real season starts. So right now, again, maybe you can call that being a starter for 12 years. I don't get excited about preseason, but it is good for the younger guys to get out there and show what they got. But again, just like we all know, and just like D-Led said, they got shorts on, man. So when you put them pads on, you got two types of players, I believe. You got practice players, and then you got game players. So when them bullets are live, you see a different type of person out there on that field versus when it's just preseason or practice, and you can, start it over, or this don't count. But when it's real, man, you see people freezing at the trigger, but they shooting everything in practice. But when them bullets start flying, they, kind of hesitant. So anyways, that's my joke for today. But I'll wait until the season starts, and I have a bunch of questions for D-Led.
Clemente, how about you, sir?
Well, I'm the preseason really is not that important to me either, even though I didn't start 12 years in the NFL. But I just want to know, since you're at practice, the Falcons have never had a problem with scoring. Are they going to be able to stop somebody? How does the defense look?
Well, actually, the defense looks pretty good, although we don't get to see the starters running it. We saw against Tennessee where they were able to get off the field on third downs. They had 4 sacks, 1 on a safety blitz and a corner blitz. So the new defensive coordinator is getting his defense in place. But like Tyrone said, the real test is 4 games into the season. After everybody's got tape on you, what is it going to be? But the defense is coming together. You can't see that. They got Dante Fowler back. Grady Jarrett looks good up front next to Jonathan Bullard and Tyler Davison. So those some three big dudes that should stop the run. And the linebackers are solid. The problem, Brother Gordon, for the defense, can they guard anybody?
Can they cover?
Can they guard anybody? They got A.J. Terrell back there from Westlake High. Fabian Moreau, a former top pick, projected top pick out of UCLA from the Washington football team, is going to start at the other corner. And Deron Harmon, a veteran coming from the Lions and the Patriots, will start at strong. And at free safety, you got Eric Harris, and then they had Jalen Hawkins in there when he was out on Monday. So, yeah, can those cats on the back end cover anybody is going to be key. And if the front guys can get a rush and they can blitz and get there, then that's going to be a good a look if they can cover and get to the quarterback.
Okay.
All right, question from social media. Vincent Turney says, question of the evening, who is going to replace Julio Jones' production, plain and simple? Who's going to
Well,
be that guy?
Vincent, plain and simple, if you were paying attention last year, you saw Calvin Ridley do a pretty good job of replacing it. He had over 100 yards per game when Julio was out. He had the most air yards of any receiver in the league. So who from last year, it's pretty easy. It was Calvin Ridley, and Russell Gage could help him out there, and then Kyle Pitts can take over what Russell was doing. Then you got three good receivers, but it's going to be a collective effort across the board as teams try to take Ridley away. They tried to last year and weren't able to do it. So yeah, we kind of got that answer already.
Yeah, so we talked about that a couple of weeks ago. 90 receptions, over 1,300 yards, I think 9 touchdowns. One of the leaders in catches for first downs percentage. I think something like almost 2/3 of his receptions were for first downs or more. So, I mean, the guy has already proven that he can do what he's got to do. And he already, I believe, is considered one of the better route runners in the NFL. So I think you're right. You got what you need. I got a question about Davidson in the middle. It looks like he is finally going to be what we thought he was going to be as a stout run stopper and helper for Grady Jarrett. Is that what you're seeing, or how much farther does he have to go before he's going to be really an impact player on this team?
Yeah, we saw it against Tennessee, Reverend. It was against the backups though. So and we just saw it for one game. Against Miami, he didn't play. He had a left knee that he's been battling with. So it's like, okay, is he going to be able to play with that left knee? Is he going to be able to contribute? Will he be a force? Can he sustain it over a couple games more than just, a flash in the pan? So we've seen what he could do, but now we need to see it again and again and again. And, so far we haven't.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we kind of really thought that he was going to be a guy. Who else would you say on the defensive side of the ball are guys that we should look to have an impact this season?
Well, they've got to, come up with a way to get Mikael Walker on the field. They got 2 linebackers. You got to figure out, what to do with another inside linebacker in the 3-4 defense. So, do you rush him on third downs? How do you get him in the mix? The guys that are making plays and making tackles, you got to figure out how to get them on the field. And I saw that in Miami. They did have all 3 of them out there in some situations. So, you need something from Dante Fowler. He thrived in this defense when he was with the Los Angeles Rams. 11 and a half sacks the 1 year under Wade Phillips out there. So he had Aaron Donald pushing people to him. So if Grady can push some people to him, maybe you get a double-digit sack guy. If you don't, then you're in trouble again. So those are some of the keys for the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, it's like you said. I mean, it's interesting. Now, let me ask you another question. Starters against the Browns. What do you think? Are we going to see them?
Yeah, they want to play the starters against the Browns. The decision has not been finalized. The Browns, I just got a text tonight from Cleveland that they are not expected to play their starters, but that's okay because the Browns have one of the deeper rosters in the AFC. So if you're not starting Myles Garrett, you're playing Clowney. So. They got their twos are going to be a good test for the Falcons' 2s and 1s if the Falcons decide to go out there. This was a team that went into the playoffs, beat up on the Steelers, came real close against the Chiefs. They're AFC title contender. The Falcons are 4-12, coming off a 4-12 season, trying to put it back together again. So this is going to be a good matchup, whether the Browns starters play or not. So we've seen the depth play in these last 2 games, and maybe they developed some players, but they got beat up pretty bad by Tennessee and Miami. So this will be a good game for the Falcons, whether the Browns play their starters or not.
Yeah, we look forward to it, man. It's I just want to see something. I mean, I think I'm like everybody else. We want to get to the regular season only because I want to see what this team actually looks like. Is it everything plain vanilla? That's what it looks like. I mean, are they running anything that they might run during the season?
They're running their base stuff. I mean, it's like remember the Titans. They running 6 plays. Bam. Sweep left, sweep right, couple routes. They're not showing anything. And if you're the Browns or the Chiefs or somebody like that went deep into the playoffs last year, okay, don't play the starter. Okay, but you 4-12, and you treating your stars like you won something. I think they need to be playing. And the biggest crime, Reverend, in this whole thing is that the fans pay full price for these exhibition games. They need to get a refund.
What?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
I'm even throw something in on that.
Go ahead.
Something in on that.
Go ahead.
The fans pay, and see, this is the inside stuff that fans don't do. So when the fans be barking at the players, like, why is that player asking for all that money? Again, whenever I hear somebody talk like that, that's somebody who doesn't know the game themselves. Just like D-Led said, the owners, they are running a monopoly, man. We as players, we don't get paid our full salaries in the preseason, nor do we get our full salaries in the playoffs. Correct. They charge full price preseason, regular season, and the playoffs. And they don't even talk about the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl, them tickets are so sky high, you might as well go ahead and put that on a down payment on a car. But again, they don't pay us. So that's information for all those fans out there. The next time you see somebody on local news or national news talking about they want to hold out because they want a bigger contract, go back and think about how much money those owners are really making.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I just want to make. Go ahead. I just want to make.
Don't get me started on the cost of parking. It used to be $5 to park. The owner's taking all that money too.
Yes. I thought you was gonna say something, Jonathan. I'm trying to wait for you, but you're not talking.
No, I'm gonna let you go ahead, Tree. Go ahead. I'll save my.
Okay, I'll be quick. All I was gonna say is I agree with Tyrone, and this is the same thing because I had this conversation with my father. He's super old school, and he complains about the ticket price. So, he's not paying that much to go to see the Lions play just because they're ripping them off with the ticket price. But like I tell him, and then they pay the players all this money. It's too much money. And I always tell him, no, it's not. The owners are getting paid so much money, but the players are doing all the work. Don't get me wrong. Yes, if you're an owner, you're the one that invests and you do need to make your money in different ways. But I agree with Tyrone. The players should, in my opinion, I think the players should get more money. That's just my opinion. But I agree. And there's so many people when they say that they're not understanding what's really going on behind the scenes. So it really bothers me how a lot of players just think, professional athletes, they, this and this and this and that. They're still human beings. They still have a living to make for themselves and their families. And a lot of people need to realize that in the NFL, most people should know by now that most of the contracts are not guaranteed anyway. So let's keep that in mind.
And then let me say this too, we piggyback, because me and D-Led and Tree, we'll go all day with this thing here. And probably Mr. Gordon too. Now, everybody complained about the 17th game. Really, I applaud the 17th game. Why, Tyrone? Because you know what? They took away one of those preseason games where they were paying us nothing. And now they're giving us a full salary game. So think about it. If you're making $15 million, that's an extra $15 million you got versus $2,500 for a preseason game. Come on.
Yeah, and what else he's saying is people don't realize and understand. I mean, guys in the NFL, they actually take pay cuts to make it to the playoff. And Tyrone kind of says that. If you bring it home, one of these huge contracts, and you bring home hundreds of thousands of dollars every week, and you get to the first round of playoffs, and the winning is what, 15,000, 7,500 something. You actually take a pay cut to go to the playoffs. You take a pay cut to go all the way to the Super Bowl if you're making big money. So,
everybody get paid the same amount of money, no matter who you are, whether you Matt Ryan or whether you Tom Brady.
Everybody gets the same money.
Everybody get paid $15,000. Now, come on, man, that's a ripoff.
Yeah, that's a ripoff.
There you go. Well, the only thing I just wanted to say is they did make an adjustment in the ticket prices. Let everybody know. I heard Rich McKay talking about this the other day. The Falcons have aggressively adjusted their prices so that folks, just let you know, if you want to see the Falcons and the Browns, you will sit in the 300 section. The tickets right now are on sale for $6.
Man, come on, man.
Think about what it's gonna be worth.
You go into Macy's and they say, well, we got 50% off today. In your mind, you thinking, oh, wow, that means $100. I only paid $50. Man, they only paid $10 to get the garment made.
Well, I'm going to say this.
Okay, go ahead.
When they first opened Mercedes-Benz Stadium, and my husband and I went to a Falcons game, they had the previous Falcons, I guess it was Legends Weekend. I don't know what they call it with the Falcons, but the players that used to play for the Falcons. So he and I went to the game. And I was just amazed, which I do want to pause and say, I don't care what anybody says, outside of the Minnesota Vikings, they had this really sweet intro. I love the Atlanta Falcons intro. Oh my goodness. It is, to me, the best ever with the Falcon, and he lands in the fire on the team. I love it. Anyway, but on to my point. I was amazed at how many red seats were in the building. So if you're charging all of this money for tickets, and if nobody's coming into the building, then it's pointless. The Georgia Dome was full. The seats were sold out from the first section up to the last highest section. Everybody came. But when I've been at Mercedes-Benz Arena, all you see are a bunch of red seats. So they definitely need to do something to get the seats in the body, get bodies in the seats, because right now, even when you look on TV, you just see nothing but red seats. I want to see people in those seats. So they do need to lower prices or find some way to bring the fans into the building.
Yeah, you gotta win some football games.
Winning.
That's the start right there.
Yeah, winning. They got to win some games.
That's key.
They tell us, like for the last game, they announced tickets distributed, and they said it was 57,000, whatever. It was probably 25,000 people in there. We don't need a ticket distributed count. We need a turnstile count. So, until they start winning, and Atlanta's going, you kind of got to be winning for the folks to be all in. Until they start doing that, then we're going to probably see the empty seats.
That's a great point.
and also they've also taken away a lot of the tailgate space. I'm a fan right now. I just do the fan thing. A lot of the tailgate space is gone now from the Mercedes-Benz Dome. Yeah, and that's in Atlanta, that's a big thing for us. We tailgate down here a lot. And now they're sending everybody to the Home Depot backyard where the rules are like like you're in elementary school. You can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do this, you can't do that. So people are gonna stay away.
Yeah, the music can't be so loud. You gotta pay. They tried to. The backyard was definitely not a good idea. They thought they should just let it be an organic tailgate, like people want to tailgate.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what's going on with that, but I will repeat again. It takes us $6 if y'all want to go. $6. That's all. I don't know how much cheaper you can get $6. $6. You'll be up in the weeds, but nobody sits up there anyway. I don't want to sound like a corporate guy, but at the end of the day, some of that Mercedes-Benz thing is because you got too much distraction. You have all that stuff going on in the dome. You didn't have a SL 560 sitting there. You have no simulator. You didn't have all this stuff running around 2, 3, 4, 5 high-end restaurants. And now anybody from any seat can go down there. So, every time I go there, it's just like a lot of stuff going on. I got nothing to do with football. Nothing. I see people out there milling around. They got V103, got something happening. They got the Falcon out there. It's just a lot of stuff that is like not related to football. And like you said, you got a giant display of a Mercedes-Benz car. That's the first thing you got when you walk in. What that got to do with football? Nothing. It's just a lot of...
I think it's great that they have this stuff because everybody's not like me. And I know I'm not the typical female because even when I was in college and I used to go watch the Tennessee Titans play and I would bring friends with me, they were shocked that we were the first to walk through the gate. I want to see the teams warm up. I want to see them run out. I actually sit and watch the football game. Imagine that. I'm not coming to have social hour and I don't want to go to the concession stands unless it's halftime. But even then, I want to see the halftime show. So I know that I'm rare, but for my friends who I used to bring with me to the games, they would love all the stuff that you're talking about in the new Mercedes-Benz Stadium, where they can go to the restaurants and go look at the cars and see things like that. But for a true diehard football fan like me, I'm staying in my seat regardless of what they have going on.
Well, time for the shades. I think everybody just want to get there. It's the bottom line. Atlanta wants to be entertained. I mean, and see, this is the difference. And I'm gonna let Mr. Turner ask this question about Calvin Ridley. See, there's a difference between two franchises and the thinking. Franchise A, the Atlanta Hawks, they got two players that are extremely gifted, and if neither guy gets injured, they will probably be Hall of Famers. What Atlanta said to themselves is, we need somebody that's going to connect to the fans, that even if we're mediocre, people come out to see him because of his style of play and the way he goes about his business. So they opted to take Trae Young over Luka Doncic. And we see it took a couple of years, but the bottom line is Trae is must-see TV. Now, I'm hoping that Kyle Pitts balls out. But I can assure you, if the Falcons drafted Justin Fields and not Kyle Pitts, a lot of this fan angst would be gone. People would be packed out trying to see this guy because he's going to put people in the seats. I'm not trying to say he's going to be a Hall of Fame quarterback. He may or may not. But there's an entertainment value attached to it. I remember watching an old Joe Namath interview, and he said when he got a chance to talk with the owner's wife, Mrs. Sonny Werblin, she looked at him and said, well, you know, Joseph, we're in the entertainment business. People want to be entertained, man. You put a bad product on the field, you don't get anything to make people get hyped, they're not going to do it. All right, let's go to Mr. Turner. He's got a question for, I think, D-Led. Is Ridley now a top 5 receiver in the league? So, Mr. Ledbetter, can he carry the Falcons to the playoff? DeAndre Hopkins, Devontae Adams, Tyree Hill, just like he said about Justin Fields balling. He says now Ridley is solo, no Julio. So I guess his question is, do you think Calvin can develop into a top 5 receiver, or is he already a top 5 receiver?
Yeah, I think he's top 10, and I wouldn't say he's solo when Russell Gage is catching 70 balls and you got Kyle Pitts sitting there, and I'm going to set him at like 50 for this year. So I don't think he's solo. I don't think he's top 5. He can probably get there, but he's definitely top 10.
Well, there it is. That's kind of what I'm thinking too. So, yeah, it's gonna be interesting. We're not gonna know anything till these guys hit the field. Hopefully and prayerfully put a good product on the field, because nobody wants to. I know D-Led, you covered some bad Falcons teams. I know you're not trying to do that right now, and that's our hope, man. I hope that somehow, some way, they can put a good product on the field. Well, you know, guys, as always, the time is going rocketed by, so we got to do the old wrap up here. So first, you know how we do it. Anytime someone comes on the show, we want them to let people know how they can find out more about them, social media, website, and all the like. And so, Mr. Clemente Gordon, the floor is
all right, you can find
yours.
You can find me at Clemente_Gordon9. And I just want to say something. I wasn't on the show earlier, but the Sha'Carri Richardson situation, I'm really pulling for her. But I wish someone would just kind of let her know that she needs to just let her run and do the talking for her, and not talk as much, and just let her run and do the talking. But I want to give y'all a high point. 16-year-old Kelly Garrett, who is my goddaughter, #1 in the world, #1 in the United States out of Charlotte, under 18 years old, 400-meter hurdles, ran a 57.4. She's up and coming. Check her out.
All right, one more time. How can people find you, bro? One more time. Hit us up.
Clemente_Gordon9, the number 9.
Hey, guys, watch out for him, and hopefully we'll get also some from Mr. Tyrone Poole. We're going to ramp up our HBCU football coverage. I'm just saying. All right, brother, until the next time. God bless. All right, let's go to Mr. Tyrone Poole. The floor is yours.
Very simple, Tyrone Poole 38, all social medias. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you for watching.
He does that so fast. I don't get a chance to put it on right quick. Let me find it. I got to go in here. There he is. Yep. See, this is what happens when you ain't got no mouse. Let me get him right here. I ain't gonna let him go off until I do it. Bam! There it is, right there.
Yes.
At Tyrone Poole, number 38. Now, if y'all can't find him that way, something wrong with you. You must be slow or something. I don't know. Anyway, God bless. Okay, so let me go ahead. All right, Mr. D. Orlando Ledbetter, the floor is yours.
Yeah, you can find me at DOrlandoAJC on Twitter and Instagram at DOrlandoLed. And AJC.com for your Falcons coverage. The Bowtie Chronicles dropped this morning or tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. and the Cover 9 at 9 blog at 9 a.m. tomorrow on AJC.com.
There it is. You can see the ticker, AJC.com on the bottom, boys. You can see it right there. Remember, follow him on Twitter at DOrlandoAJC, Instagram at DOrlandoLed. Mr. Ledbetter, to the next time.
Can you hang out in the green room for a second?
Sure.
We got him hang out. All right. Keep it right there. All right. The queen, the floor is yours.
Hello, everybody. You can find me on all social media at It's Latresa and also Ms. America International 2020.
See that in the purple, boys? Right there. There she is. All right. I know y'all want to follow me. That's okay. I'm going to put myself out here anyway. That's all right. This is me, the minister. I'm here. You can follow me on social media. Really follow the show if you could. Follow us here at, there it is right there, at Real Talk Sports 7. You can follow me at Minister J. Sim. If you want to reach me, you can do that either by email, jsimmons@realtalksports.net, or give me a call on the cell 678-410-9833. All right, guys, before I leave this show, the minister got to hit you up. If you don't know the Lord Jesus Christ, your personal Savior, I'm going to tell you, please, ma'am, please, sir, get to know him today. Nobody loves you like Jesus, and you got to be a crazy person if you don't think time is winding up. People acting a fool. So it's like the old folks just say, you need to get right with God. Get yourself straight.
Right.
All right, guys, until the next time, we're all going to sign off, the three of us. And God bless you, and have a great rest of the evening or day, because you might be watching the replay. All right? See you again soon. So long.